Najee was a 4th-round pick last year in one quarterback half PPR leagues. That didn't work out. Of course, he finished as a low-end RB2. That's not going to get it done with a 4th-round ADP. So he wasn't bad, but he wasn't the best pick. He wasn't terrible, but he was not like the most ideal pick that you could have made in the 4th round last year. But he still finished with over 250 carries for the 3rd straight year. Nearly caught 30 balls. He finished with 29 catches. Didn't catch a touchdown, though. But he still ended up with 8 rushing touchdowns. Now he's 30 picks cheaper, and Jaylen Warren has picked up a hamstring injury. I'm not crazy about Najee Harris, the football player. But from an opportunity perspective, combined with Warren's injury, even though his ADP has climbed up to 70, I'm good with Najee Harris at his cost. Because even with the slightly inflated cost this year, up to with an ADP of around 70, he was in the 40s last year. His ADP was in the 40s last year. So he's still 30 picks cheaper this year. Draft Najee Harris. Not as anything more. I hope he's your RB4. But last year he was being drafted as your RB2. The last piece of this puzzle is Arthur Smith will make this an infuriating situation because Arthur Smith makes everything an infuriating situation. He's the offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh, in case you maybe missed that detail. So good luck, Pittsburgh. Plus, the Steelers' offense just might not be that good this year. But they weren't that good last year either, and Najee Harris still gave you 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground. He's primed to do that again, but at a 30-pick discount. So I'm in on Najee Harris. I like that production from my RB4. Not necessarily my RB2, but I'll take it from my RB4, which is what you can draft Najee as this year. Maybe even your RB3 if you go wide receiver heavy in your draft. And that's still fine. You're not necessarily relying on him right away. But I think he presents some good depth at a reduced cost, even though he's got the same role as last year. To that point, I wanted to put Jaylen Warren as solid green, but I'm going to put him as that lighter shade of like, yes, I'm interested. I am, but I'm not reaching for him. I'm going to actually hope that he probably falls a little bit given the injury. I know he's talented. But with the injury that he picked up, apparently he's fine. You still have to have some caution with soft tissue injuries. I'm not going out of my way to draft Jaylen Warren. If somebody wants to overdraft him, that is fine. I would like to get him, his ADP is around 93, 94. If I could get him around pick 100, and I get, obviously, a lot of these running backs are around that same cost. So, if it's like Jaylen Warren versus Brian Robinson, I would take Brian Robinson. If it's Jaylen Warren versus Zach Moss or Chase Brown, I'm probably taking Zach Moss and Chase Brown. I'm interested, but I'm interested with, as opposed to being cautiously optimistic, I want Warren, but I have a little bit of pessimism. There's a slight difference because of the hamstring injury. So I'm fine with taking him. I'm not going out of my way to draft him above his cost, above his ADP. I would like it much more if he slides a little bit.